Hi, this is Arsalan here. This is going to be a short video presentation about CIMA Diploma in Islamic Finance, which is an Islamic finance qualification launched by Chartered Institute of Management Accountants. In the short video presentation, we'll be discussing the modular structure of the qualification, comprising of 4 independent certificates modules, and how these modules and how the learning objectives of these modules caters to the professional requirement of the aspirant. Well, it would be needless here to tell you about the legacy and the profile of Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, having a global presence with hundreds and thousands of members coming across from various parts of the world and being recognized as the largest management accountant body across the world. Besides, CIMA Diploma in Islamic Finance being graded and awarded by Global Islamic Finance Award as the best education provider in 2013. Now, this appears to be a busy slide. In this slide, we'll be discussing the modules of CIMA Diploma in Islamic Finance, their learning objectives, and the professional skills required by the candidate. Well, the Islamic finance curriculum designed by CIMA is a comprehensive and a progressive curriculum set to initially lay down foundation in Islamic commercial, contractual law and jurisprudence, and of course its sources, moving on to its application in developing systems, procedures, services, and products offered by banks and Takaful companies. This actually covers the overall financial intermediation process as adapted by Islamic financial institutions. The third module moves on to Islamic capital market structures, instruments, and the overall Islamic securitization process, be it backed or asset based, to offer sukuks and Islamic bonds. Further, it also covers Islamic mutual funds and Islamic REITs. The last module takes you through the reporting, auditing, and accounting standards for Islamic financial transactions, along with the Sharia and the governance standards as set by the de facto industry body called AAOIFI. Now, we would be taking a detailed view of all 4 modules in terms of learning objectives and their respective required professional skills. The first module, to discuss, would be Islamic commercial law. This module would make you learn sources, principles, and prohibitions of Islamic commercial law. It also introduces you to Quran, Sunnah, Hadith, Fiqh, Ijma, and Ijtihad as a source, as a potential source of Islamic commercial law. Besides, and the most important, you would find a neutral presentation of various schools, including schools of thoughts from Hanbali, Hanafi, and Shafi'i schools, and their adaptation across various jurisdictions. For example, Malaysia has been following Hanbali school, whereas Saudi Arabia has been a follower of Shafi'i school. And in Pakistan, interestingly, it's the Hanafi school that is being practiced. Talking about the professional skills that are expected to be acquired in this module, it would enable you to develop a practical insight on Islamic commercial law, Islamic contracts, and how are they actually being adapted as a financing vehicle. Besides, you would also learn how to ensure the legitimacy and validity of financial products and services for the overall Sharia compliance in an Islamic financial institution. Now, talking about the second module titled Islamic Banking and Takaful Products and Services. As I've referred earlier, this module covers products, services, structures, processes, systems, and the risk management techniques adapted in Islamic banking and Takaful companies. In terms of professional skills, it would be It would actually develop a thorough insight of liability side products based on wakala, qard, mudarba, and overall profit distribution mechanism and framework. Whereas on the other hand, that is on the asset or the financing side, you'd be able to develop an insight of equity products, that is the mudarba and the musharka based financing products, and the asset based or trade products like that of ijara, murabaha, salam, istisna, and their application in short term and long term lending products. In this module, you'd also learn about products related to trade and treasury based on commodity muraba and the world. Distinct and somewhat unique risk management issues in Sharia compliant banking, like that of the very important displaced commercial risk and the management mechanism, also forms part of this module. Lastly, the Takaful products, structures, and models are also reviewed in this module. Well, now the third module, Islamic capital markets and instruments. Sukuk has been the recent buzzword and has been making headlines not only in the core markets like GCC, but also across the world. I would not be wrong if I say that it is Islamic capital market activities that has taken Western and non-Muslim countries into its fold, with UK, Europe, and Australia already eyeing ICM or the Islamic capital market as a potential source of foreign. This module primarily covers the Islamic securitization process for structuring asset-based or asset-backed bonds in Sukuk. The Sharia-compliant equity screening criteria, management of Sharia-compliant mutual funds, and management of real estate investment trusts would also be covered in this module. For the sake of better understanding and practical insight, popular case studies on Sukuk structures have also been included in this module. Lastly, in this module, you'd also be learning about opinions, Sharia principles, and guidelines as set by governing bodies like AAOIFI, OIC, Islamic Development Bank, and IFSP. The last module is aimed at developing a thorough understanding of accounting, auditing, Sharia, and governance standards as set by AAOIFI, applicable on Islamic financial institutions. Harmonization and standardization of Sharia-compliant banking has been deemed critical for the overall growth of industry. Jurists and scholars have insisted that not only the product and services, but the reporting and presentation of Islamic financial transactions needs to be Sharia compliant. The argument of form versus substance between AAOIFI and the prevalent ISB shall be elaborated in this module. The limitation that it poses when conventional standards are applied to report Islamic financial transactions. In this module, you would be developing an understanding of AAOIFI standards as applied on the reporting of financing contracts like mudarba, musharaka, salam, istisna, murabaha, ijara, and of course, zakah. Moreover, you would be learning the auditing, the Sharia, and the corporate governance standards promulgated to meet the distinct nature of Islamic financial institutions. So this was a brief overview of the learning objectives of the 4 modules of CIMA Diploma in Islamic Finance. Lastly, I would like to add here that the aesthetically pleasing, colorful, and candid content of the CIMA Diploma in Islamic Finance study guides with lots of real-world examples, thinking challenges, and exercises would make it a fairly engaging and learning experience.